didn't think I could make it through that swamp. This is what we have. Last night, had a bit of a problem having to move my shelter at night. You never want to do that, but make mistakes, you're going to make mistakes, but you want to capitalize on that and learn from that. I talked to you yesterday about a sense of direction. How you know the sense of direction. If you don't have a compass with you, how you know? I know that I want to go east. Well, I said yesterday about utilizing the sun's positioning to tell the approximate time, and also your sense of direction, also the linear, the lining of the stars too, if you're going at nighttime. But what if you don't have the sun? What if it's cloudy? All right. What if it's nighttime? All right. You can't use the sun. You can't see the sun at nighttime. So I usually pick up things on the way, something that I may not be able to use right then. I may use it in the future. So I always pick those things up. And what I've done here is I went ahead and picked up a food source, all right, earlier. And I also picked up what I have here is a gauge. Now it may not look like that it can serve its purpose, but it can, and it'll go a long way. All right, I've had this now for about 2 years. I found it in the East Andes, and so it's good on as far as a compass if you do. If you need to get you a watch that has a compass, and I do have one, but I don't know how to calibrate it. So I'll get this gauge, and how I want to do, I know that I want to go probably in that direction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to manually turn that because I'm wanting to go 120 degrees, all right? So I put it on 120 degrees. Can you see that? It looks pretty good, all right? So, and it's pointing in that direction, and if you pan off that way, we're probably about 9 miles before civilization. And so, but use these things, pay attention to those things. I'm going to set those down. It's important that you have a good crew, all right? It's also important that you have a good backup plan. Food source is vitally important. You can die of dehydration. You can go 3 minutes without air. You can go approximately 3 days without water, approximately 3 weeks without food. I've gone right now 6 days without food. I'm weak. I've been tromping through the woods real thick, as you can see. So along the way, I picked up some things that it's good sustenance. Berries are good for carbohydrate, energy, that natural sweetness taste. Look for those things. They're all around you. We have berry trees right here that I saw. They're not ripe yet, so I'm not going to do those. They're going to have a bitter taste. But also grubs, crickets, worms. Now, 1 or 2 crickets, so not going to fill you up, but if you can get about 17 of them, they will, all right? So let me give you an example. I'm going to go to a knee. I picked up some earthworms, and like I said, this is not going to fill me up by no means, but what it's going to do is give me that sustenance, psychological effect, all right? You see the worms right here? They're packed with protein. It's very important. They're packed with protein. You need protein to survive. So I'm going to take that, and I'm going to eat that. Earthworms are everywhere, okay? All right. I don't like worms, all right? So I'm going to go to my backup plan, all right? You got to have a backup plan. So I have a good crew with me. It tastes a little earthy, but it's the sweetness. The sweetness is going to give you that energy. Once again, I said about a backup plan, about food sources, all right? If you can't find the food sources, you need to have a backup plan in a survival situation. And so I have that backup plan. This is a beautiful food source, because what it has, it's got a filler in your bread, and it's glazed for your carbohydrates. So now that'll give me energy to finish approximately 9 miles so we can set up a shelter. I'm Chris Reed.